Yeah.
Shit.
The slap in the face is one of my friends. Like, I got my first donation from our website alert. Like, holy shit, my buddy texts me like, I just donated $5 so you can get better internet. I'm like, go fuck yourself.
Did you say, can you make it monthly?
Yeah. Give me a recurring $5 donation.
A podcast about bourbon and the ones who drink it. This is Bourbon Matters. Welcome to Bourbon Matters. I'm Jake.
I'm Dan. And there's no Roberto PDL.
And Dan's still on a delay. It's all right. Yeah, Roberto's in the middle of a Texas deep freeze and lost power, supposedly.
Yeah,
but we have two Texas people here.
Yeah. We're joined by the former fourth Dram and Goal Texas dudes.
What up? Yep. Whole new names, whole new show, whole new identity. We're not hiding from anybody, we promise.
Yeah, only our ex-wives. So we are joining the show. Thanks for guys for the invite for the crossover episode. I'm Cole. We got Steven here with us. We're starting a new podcast called Two Dads, No Clue. Really a podcast about drinking, thinking, and fatherhood. So I had to look at that real quick to remember what our podcast is about. But the whole idea is just like we're two dads taking a break, giving our perspective on historical events, anything of note, and really kind of, trying to make our content relevant for today's dad. So appreciate you guys having us on.
Nice.
Shameless plug there.
Well,
My biggest concern... my biggest bone to pick is that I don't have my stickers for an actual podcast anymore. I have a fourth Dram sticker, and there's no such thing as fourth Dram.
I mean, we're still keeping it going. Like, it's still going to be there, so technically it's still a thing. But, hey, I mean, I got to reinvest in the marketing material, so I'm working on it. Give me some time.
Yeah, it turns out the country doesn't care too much about a podcast where they give sports scores from 2 weeks before. Or the fact that players can make the injured list and then be off the injured list by the time that our episodes got released.
I feel like that's a direct shot at me, man. Come on now.
No. Trust me, if you had a partner that had a little bit, that could even maybe work like Google Drive a little better, we'd probably have a better thing going. But no, so we started brainstorming. We were like, dad stuff is like all year round, and you could always like give advice on that, and usually we're always pretty shitty dads, so we like to share that with people anyway.
When you say pretty shitty dads, it means pretty shitty and dads. We're not bad dads. We're just pretty shitty, and then we're dads as well.
As well as being fathers.
There you go. Exactly. Yeah. That's what Saturday and Sunday and Monday through Friday are for, right?
Yeah. Well, so we are coming up on the Super Bowl. So we did want to get your guys' takes on that. Mm-hmm. I didn't do my research, and I don't even know who's in it, so I'll leave.
There's no way.
You guys take it away.
Start.
You're the one that coordinated this. Come on now. Come on, Jay.
I know.
Come on.
I'll look it up real quick.
I'll save you the time. It's the Chiefs and the Bengals. I mean, I'm sorry. Nope, not even.
Not just
you
shitty
said F the NFC this year.
Wrong most of the time, too. Chiefs and the Eagles. I apologize.
Got
There
it.
you go. There you go. First time one mother has birthed two kids to be on both teams.
It would be way better if it was
that.
the Bengals than the Chiefs. I have no interest in the Super Bowl.
The Chiefs and the Bengals in the Super Bowl?
Either way, if the Bengals were in the Super Bowl, I'd be happy.
Why?
I don't like any of the teams in the Super Bowl this year. Like last year, I wanted either the Rams or the Bengals to win. This year, I give two shits.
But why the affinity for the Bengals and not the Chiefs?
Yeah,
Like,
why?
what's your bone to pick there?
They're way more fun team to watch.
Yeah.
I think They're young, they're fun. They were shit 2 years ago, and now they were in back-to-back championship games.
What are we talking about, the Bengals or the Chiefs here?
Bengals. Chiefs have been good for way too long.
No, they haven't. They dropped off after their last Super Bowl win. This is a comeback story. Come on.
I mean, it's the Andy Reid Bowl. Who doesn't
really
love
is.
Andy Reid?
All right, so
I want
better
to invite
matchup.
him on our father's show because I think he would be everybody's lovable father.
Didn't he have a kid kill
as long as
himself,
you
though?
Did a DWI and yeah.
Whoa! This just took a dark turn.
No, I mean I don't know if he killed himself, right? He just got a DWI and then did some damage to people.
No, that was his other son.
Oh, okay. So it's both. Got it. Okay, that makes it
Hey,
better.
talk about not doing your research before the show. Thank you guys.
Yeah, Dan just drove this one off a cliff.
Usually my forte.
Just like Andy Reid's son.
Well, so
Oh boy. And this is why we don't get invited to other podcasts, Cole. Yeah. No,
who do you guys have?
Steve, you
I'm
go
a tech
first,
guy,
man.
so it's Mahomes.
It's got to be
But
Mahomes.
it's hard to not like Jalen Hurts. I mean, it's a hard thing to not root for that guy. So I won't be like devastated. It goes back because the Texans are such a shitty team, and I always have to do the same thing. I hope for a good game. Reed getting a little revenge against Philly, even though I don't think him and a Philly cheesesteak are just perfect for each other. Yeah, just a good game. Look more forward to the spread. Maybe a little buffalo dip, maybe a couple T-bones. But yeah, that's all I want.
All right, so for me, it's the Eagles. Like, it doesn't really matter who wins because I just want to keep the Texas quarterback streak going for Super Bowl wins. But I don't know, man. Like, you got all the Eagles. I had like 2 dudes on their team that drove me to the fantasy football championship. So I've got to hold it down for the Eagles, even though I was raised a Cowboys fan, which sounds sacrilegious, but fuck it.
Aren't Eagles fans like big time pieces of shit though?
I mean, sorry, Philly.
They really are.
I tell you what, they're
No one in
really
Philly
good at
listens
climbing
to us.
greased poles, though.
I mean, they've got to be pretty similar to Chicago fans, right? I mean, somewhere
Well,
in the ballpark.
Chicago fans are pretty civil, except when one of their own players calls them racist. Then all
Got
bets
it.
are off.
I mean, was he wrong? I mean, okay. So there's a question for you, right? A little bit off the Super Bowl, but if you rack and stacked like the worst fan base in NFL football, all the way down, like who would be your top 3? Like rowdy, cantankerous, assholes.
Number 1
Philly?
would definitely be Packers fans.
I would
Fuck you
agree.
both.
I'd say Philly, Texas Tech fans.
No.
They
NFL.
horrible.
NFL. Nobody cares about tech right now.
Well, I'm just saying. You said the worst fans on my list.
On the NFL teams.
Philly
Cowboys
has to be
fans.
number 1, right?
Yeah, I think Philly would be number 1. Just
What-
for the stuff they do.
who are LA fans?
Nobody knows who they are anymore. Like, they don't even know who they are. They don't know if they're Chargers or Rams fans. I would say old Oakland fans would be up there.
Yeah,
Oh,
old
yeah.
Oakland.
Definitely.
No, I
No?
I disagree. I disagree with that. I don't
New
think
Oakland?
they're the. No, I don't think they're the worst. I think they're some of the best fans. You just don't want to fight them whatsoever.
Well, that's what I think we're talking about here. Like, if you're a Philly fan and you're in Philly, you're fine. Same with being an Oakland fan, but you don't want to be on the opposing sideline or in a different color.
Maybe I heard Philly fans like threw dead dogs back to the police when they won the Stanley Cup in the '70s. Like, I don't. That's a different ball game there, buddy.
Like canine police? Like,
Yeah, like the dogs that they sent in to break up the celebration
so
came
would that-
back.
was
Not
that
alive.
That's a different kind of police brutality, isn't it?
Yeah.
I want to throw out
sure
that
Philly
Bears
is.
fans could be up there, though. And this goes back to years ago. Deadspin always used to write an article for every team of why your team will suck this year. And they just destroy every team, and at the end they would have a comment section where fans got to say why their team sucks. And I'll never forget the one for the Bears. It was a guy's like, we finally went up to Lambeau to watch a Packers-Bears game this year. After taking some good-natured ribbing from their fans, they gave us beer from their cooler and brats from the grill. Later that year, we were at the game at Soldier Field. My buddy called a 12-year-old girl wearing an Aaron Rodgers jersey a cunt. We're not good people.
I'm not even laughing at the story at this point. I'm just laughing at like these random pauses.
I
Yeah,
want
you
it.
keep breaking up hard on our end.
I know. And the story was.
It sounded
sounding
like a great
awesome.
story.
Yes.
It was just like I went up to Lambeau, 12-year-old girl in the parking lot.
And then pause.
It's like, oh, Jesus.
But it was a great story.
It'll sound good in the actual episode. It'll come through.
Jake's a real producer. I'm just a hack, so we'll make it work. Anytime Steven touches his mic, I'm like, stop fucking touching your mic.
My God, that was Roberto early on. It was like every episode he would hit his mic with his hand.
It's okay. We've been doing 56, 57 episodes, and he still does it, so it's all good. But yeah, going back to the Super Bowl picks, I'm going to root for the Eagles. I think the Chiefs, I mean, I'll be happy either one wins. I mean, hopefully one of them wins. But I do want to see what the Eagles do to Philly after they win. Because, I mean, did you guys see the video of, climbing the grease poles and falling through the bus shelter? Like, classic shit. Like, I just want to see some police cars burning, like, looking like, like Seattle 2020, 2021 type thing.
Yeah.
Or Portland or wherever the fuck it was. Like, that'll be great. Let's do
After
that.
winning.
Yeah, it's like, I fucking love this team. Let's burn this mother down. Like, that kind of shit. That's great. Yeah.
Man.
That'll be good. What about you guys? Who are you pulling for? Jake, you didn't win.
I'm pulling for a prop bet. I want to do an over-under on electric car commercials. Because last year it seemed like it was a pretty good year, and I think they're going to top it this year. So I think I'm going to take the over 10.
Over 10.
Yeah.
So you think of all the Super Bowl commercials, there's going to be at least 10.
Yeah, at least 10 are going to be for electric cars.
I will take an over-under on the Jesus commercials because I have an inside knowledge on that.
They're going to have Tim Tebow commercials on repeat?
No. Apparently there's some, like, organization, like, I don't know, some Christian coalition. I just find this interesting as a fact. They're spending $100 million for 2 Super Bowl episodes or commercials.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
and it's going to be like
Interesting.
Okay, so to things that actually matter, I would like the prop bet
fact.
that I always like. My favorite is the Gatorade bath. That's the best one. What's it gonna be?
what color is it?
Yeah.
Orange, blue, purple.
Well, I think it depends on which team wins.
Thank you. But still, I mean, the fact, like, okay, so the San Francisco Kansas City year, yeah, you're leaning towards red, but you never know when a team's going to throw in that just.
I'm gonna go
classic
blue.
Orange Gatorade.
Blue.
I'll
bet you blue
It
on
seems
that.
like it's orange a lot, isn't it?
Did you
Yeah,
say
because
it's
classic?
the best flavor.
Isn't yellow the classic?
I mean, yeah, but nobody wants to be
Steve
drenched
Spurrier,
in piss.
maybe,
lemon
but
lime,
still,
lemon lime.
I'm just
It's lemon
saying.
lime.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right, I would say. But when it comes to my preference, orange has always been.
I just think like if you have confidence in winning, like don't douse me in a yellow liquid. Like I'm gonna kind of
Yeah,
put
that's
the
probably
brakes on
good.
that. It doesn't look great.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's a
to
good
each their own, but golden showers are not my thing. So it's
You would take it there. You would take it there.
I don't discriminate. I just tell you I don't like that. All right, don't get mad at me.
You went from Jesus speech to golden showers.
Hey, it's up to you to make the connection. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, well, let's talk about your guys' new show.
Yeah. We just finished recording our first episode. I am in the midst of, chopping and screwing it, figuring out exactly what beats we're going to throw over. But we actually talked about marathons, oddly enough. Like, go figure. I did a half back in December. I'm doing another half in March. My wife's doing a full. Steven's training for his first full or half. I'm not sure if he's made a decision. And there you go, man. Just wing it. And kind of like the challenges of fatherhood and like trying to figure out exactly how do you balance having a kid, having a wife, supporting your family, being there for them, running a podcast, and finding enough time on like at least once a week to run 10 plus miles, which depending how slow you are, could take 2 hours. Right. So, I mean, it's a battle, man. Like my wife's traveling or training for a marathon. And Friday she'll be running for like 3.5 hours. I'm like, cool, I guess I'll see you Saturday. I don't know what the fuck to say.
Yeah, it's a work in progress. I made the mistake of like listening to the wrong people that day to prep for it. I had like Rogan on, and he had like Jordan Patterson as his guest, and I only understood like 90% of the words that man says. So, like, I went into our podcast with, like, the mentality of smoker jacket, sophisticated history, and my wife heard the rough draft, and she was like, okay, if you're going to go up to your room and play games for an hour on this podcast thing, I need you to not sound like an asshole and be yourself. So it's actually worth the time that you're away from your family. So, yeah, she did have some constructive criticism, but it's a change of pace. You want to channel the inner Scott Van Pelt when you do the sports show and everything, but I think it's just more natural because we are dads, and we do like, damn man, tired? I'm beat. Work's kicking my ass, but yet we did this with the boys, and it just it's just natural to talk about.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah. And we kind of fold in like some of the historical references about like how the marathon started, like Peter Theophiles or whatever his name is that ran the marathon from Marathon to Athens, and how King Charles II or some shit just randomly said, the Olympics are in England this year, we're gonna make it 26.2 miles because I want to start at Windsor Castle and I want to put my fat ass on the lawn and see everybody start. Like, historical fact. Did not know that before you go into it. So just little anecdotes like that.
It's the distance is totally arbitrary.
The what? Yeah, the distance. It was roughly 20 miles from Marathon to Athens when he ran it. Original to tell that the Greeks had beat the help me out, Stephen. Persians, right? Mm-hmm. And the whole "We Are Sparta" thing. And here I am just recanting our last episode. But yeah, no, it was like 21 point something, 23, 25, and then there was like, now it's 26.2. So
that's interesting.
Random nuggets. I will tell you.
It's always interesting when random British kings just make decisions and we're stuck with it forever.
America.
Yeah, I feel like we're going through that right now. So,
we will have stickers.
Yeah,
stickers coming soon. Except the problem is so the logo was a work in progress. Cole sent me the first couple of rough drafts, and the first couple ones, it looked like
say it.
He made me look like Ellen DeGeneres on the first one or something, and
a slightly browner Ellen DeGeneres, yes.
And he had this big burly beard, which I'm like, okay, so now you're a Viking, and I go to I don't know.
Does he have this deep U-neck shirt on?
Yes. I had a shoulder pad shirt on. It was very weird.
Very ambiguous.
It took 3 days just to get through that. And then he said I was being picky, but funny, he looked like a great Viking, and
I will tell you, mine was an out-of-the-box shape. Like, if you see our logo, it's kind of like cartoon-esque silhouettes of us. If you've used Canva, or Canva, however the hell you say it before, you can kind of pop it together. and that's what I used. But there wasn't someone that looked like him, so first world problems. Yeah,
What is that supposed to mean?
That they didn't have broad shoulders and a deep V and a high and tight with the comb over haircut. I don't know. What do you want me to say to that?
So yeah. So eventually, our logo just looks like he looks like Andrew Santino, and I look like a washed up version of like The Situation as cartoon figures.
I mean, it's pretty accurate.
But we threw it together, and I don't have anything. I don't have anything against it, but we are not a couple. We are not two dads on the logo. So I want to throw that out there.
It's one dad and his asexual friend.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so that is the beginning of Two Dads No Clue so far.
Yeah, and we had to figure out the name for it because we kept kicking it around, and naturally Two Bears One Cave I think is naturally an inspiration for us, but we want to give obviously we have a different vibe. They are an inspiration. It's a couple dudes,
Two dudes, one cup.
Yeah, I mean, not gonna lie, that one was in there.
That was we did not let that deter us from the goal. We knew that was going to be a comparison, and you never know.
Yeah, but it's going to allow us our content to be not so structured, a little more free flowing. I think that's something we really liked about y'all's podcast. Obviously, you're a whiskey and bourbon podcast, and we're not going to take that away from us. But I think Stephen and I's point, we get to we like sipping on coffee every once in a while. It's not always going to be the best world's breaking review. And there's so many good podcasts doing that out there. We want to kind of start to carve our own niche within the industry. So
sure, yeah.
I started dabbling in the athletic wine world, which apparently is a big thing right now. Yeah.
What the hell is that? Is that like barefoot wine?
What is that?
So you walk into your local Kroger and they have Fit Vine. They have, that's actually the only one I remember.
Oh, what about that weird seltzer you drank the other day?
The dad one?
Yeah. How was that?
Oh, have y'all had... running, you got to look low carb, all right? Don't judge. Happy Dad. Happy Dad? Have y'all tried that one?
No.
Okay, don't.
No.
Yeah, no, you're good. Yeah, so I've done a little bit of the high noons lately. Those just give you a really good buzz pretty quick, and I get to pretend I'm Dave Portnoy for a little bit. But yeah, other than that, we're like, there's a lot of great podcasts about whiskey, such as y'all's, and we found ourselves talking about useless things like French press coffee and pour overs that were like,
Hey, those aren't useless, all right?
That's true.
Yeah. I didn't have power this morning. I'm glad I had my French press, all right? So, come at me.
And who convinced you to get a French press? I'm just
saying.
You
did. I stole it from my father. It was great.
Yeah.
I was like, Dad, what is this in the closet?
From my father, but...
Did we have to go there, Stephen, really? What about y'all? What new shit have you all been covering in your podcast? I've seen your stuff pop up, listened to a couple. Sounds like you guys have had some pretty good adventures.
Yeah, Dan, you want to take that one?
Does everybody know about your new cool job?
Yeah, we did a podcast. I think I mentioned it. We did a couple episodes on Whiskey Acres. I'm working there now. We did a big trip down to Kentucky earlier in the year with a bunch of friends. There's eight or 10 of us down there. Hit up 7 distilleries. Me and a friend went down early. We hit up Castle and Keys. We did 8 total. But yeah, just living the life. Jake took a Knob Creek barrel pick down to Tahiti. I did some trekking in Slovenia and took a bunch of little bottles. Introduced a bunch of people to some whiskey on my vacation.
I saw that.
Been fun. It's going to be. We're trying to figure out our new podcast style.
Colonizing Europe, one bottle of whiskey at a time.
Besides me having to get a long ass Ethernet.
So what's your
computer? So go ahead.
Oh man, What what's one anecdote from your trip down to Kentucky that you didn't share on your podcast previously that you could share with us?
That's a good one.
I don't think we talked about how
birthday
remote
was.
yeah.
ahead,
Go that one.
So, Roberto's birthday was the week before, I think. It was either the week before or the week after. So we got him. We wanted to get him a gift basket. So we bought a cheap sombrero and packed it full of stuff.
Dirty.
And got him a piñata. And in the hat we got him some like chicharrones and a michelada cup, and I think a couple Dos Equis. And then Dan shoved some immigration papers in it. So.
Steven, I know what I'm getting you for Christmas.
Well, everything was fine, but you really offended me when you said Dos Equis. That was the one thing that I just.
Steven's more of a Pacifico guy.
The line.
Oh,
Throw some Tecate or some Pacifico, and everything's fine. But that Dos Equis, the papers I could use, that's fine.
My only regret about the basket
because he was so excited about the michelada. After a whole day of drinking whiskey, he just like couldn't wait to get into the michelada.
That's awesome.
That's great.
The other thing that was cool about that trip we didn't really talk about, the house we stayed at, to get to it, you had to drive through a creek. The road was just the road, and then there was a creek,
Sorry,
and you had to drive.
Say that
through
again,
the creek.
Dan.
God damn it.
Turn your camera off and try it again.
He's all.
So I think I know where he's going. So we rented I think it was a Verbo house. It was out in the middle of like the country near Versailles, and it was like this huge cabin. It was awesome. So like we got to hang out, like in this big like living room every night. We had a grill, so we grilled up food both nights. I think we made tacos the first night for Roberto's birthday, and then did burgers the second night. Had plenty of mixing or fixings to make some old fashions both nights, so it was a good time.
Jesus, that's freaking awesome. Cole, we can't even coordinate a trip to freaking Austin. Like, we suck.
Dude, I mean, yeah, that's not an inaccurate statement. And the last time we got together, I went out to Houston, and we went to St. Arnold's? St. Arnold's. Mm-hmm. And I took, those chairs, it's like all like rocky out, like in those sitting areas, you know what I'm talking about, Jake? Yeah. Well, no, it's like the rocks. But anyway, we got those metal chairs out there. And they've got like the holes in the bottom, right? And they typically have the rubber feet, but after they've been used a little while, rubber feet get gone and shit like that. So we're sitting there, and we're sitting there, and like my wife's sitting next to me, and she like gets up to help the kids go to the bathroom or something like that. And I'll let Steven kind of correct me on this, but she was like, "Get out of my way!" And then I did what'd you call it? The classic
a fat man scoot.
Yeah, the Batman scoot, like, where you kind of pick it up and like hop it a little bit, but I didn't hop forward. I hopped backwards right onto my wife's like middle finger toe and like cut the nail off of her toe bed, and it was like squirting blood everywhere. It was horrible.
Oh my
it was
God.
bad. But my wife's a champ. Like, she's got a high pain tolerance, and she was like, "Oh my God." And then, we're getting napkins and like trying to stop the bleeding. With like a waiter who I swear to God was high. Like,
oh, he was for sure. But and the funny thing is, like, so when this happened, Cole jumps up and does he instantly has the oh shit look because I messed up on my face, and then he takes off. My wife she's been gone. She's actually went into panic mode and was like being helpful, going to get somebody like water. So they take off, and it's just me and Cole's wife there, and I'm literally looking at her like...
With the kids, just sitting around like...
Yeah, and I said, there's nothing I can say right now that's going to make you feel better, so I'm just going to sit here. And she just gave me the look of death, like, yeah, you're right, but you're still an Ashman.
So, just throw a quick prayer up and
exactly.
I just kind of shrugged my shoulders, like, yeah. Well, they're already doing all the work. So.
I'm just gonna sit here and drink my beer.
Yeah. Did you take a drink of beer?
Oh
yeah.
Yeah, I had to after I saw that. I mean, her foot was bleeding everywhere. I needed something to calm me down.
Yeah. So then we get her like bandaged up and stuff. I have a first aid kit, got her all bandaged up. I'm like, we're 45 minutes away from Steven's house where we're staying. And I'm like, hey, all right, we'll still head back. And she's like, no, we still have one more brewery to go to. And I was like, okay. And so we went over to Buffalo Bayou. And I think they had what they have to drink, because she doesn't drink beer, something else. I don't know. And she was like
a
frozen
or something.
Wine. Yeah, it was like a wine frozen.
It was like a wine cooler type, like a daiquiri type deal that they do in house.
She found like 4 of those, and we had lunch, and we went back, and it was a fucking great trip. Awesome.
Yeah. she handled that way better than when Cole's kids don't finish their food and he makes things awkward by screaming at them at the table.
Damn, dude. That was real. I thought you were going to say when I hurt myself and I think I'm a baby back bitch all the time, but yeah, that's cool too.
And then, so they get to my house. We get stuck, of course, in Houston traffic. An accident happens within the 2-minute window that they're ahead of us, and we get stuck. When we walk into my house, she's taking shots of vodka. He has a little medical kit in his hand with little pliers, and we know what's about to go down. God.
It's like an Old West movie.
Yes. And my kids look at me and I'm like, just go to your room. He's getting ready to pull the toenail off. And we're like, okay, if that's what you want to do. And needless to say, she was a champ that night.
She pulled it off herself. I couldn't do it.
Yeah. It was awesome.
I used to work in wound care, and I couldn't do it to her. I was like,
oh my god,
too much damage today.
Yeah, it was definitely to see Tom Hanks hitting his tooth out in Castaway all over again.
Oh, jeez.
We got through it, and that's why we're awesome dads.
Yeah,
indubitably. Yeah. So listen to our show for more fun anecdotes. It's like that. It's good times. Good times. All right, so I have another question for you. You did all 8. I'm sure you guys listed them off in your previous episodes, but did you guys have a favorite? And if you were to go back, would you do all 8 or would you do a different set?
Yeah, Dan,
real quick, am I back live now or no?
No, yeah, you're beautiful.
Okay, all right.
I can see that big black D right in the middle of the screen.
He's not lying. Now, I would say, so I think the couple things we learned from that was 6 distilleries in 2 days is probably about the max you'd want to do. You wouldn't want to go and do 3 more another day. That's a lot. They're all very similar, right? All the tours are going to go through the exact same steps. Well, I know our favorite distillery, because it was the most different, even though we're not big fans of the actual, or the biggest fans of the distillery itself, is Bardstown. But the tour and the facility is insane. I want to go back again. I would definitely do 6 more distilleries in 2 days, but 6 completely different ones. I don't think I'd go back to any of the ones we saw.
Yeah, I mean, we left off some huge names.
Who'd you leave off?
We didn't go to Makers or Wild Turkey.
That's the first one I was going to ask about.
You did Buffalo.
Who else might?
Yes.
Yeah, we did do Buffalo Trace.
It was nice and it's cool, but I mean, every place has different levels tours too, and we just went with a company that booked everything for us. They would get you on and off the bus at the right time. They would say, "Hey, I'm taking you here for lunch. You have this long to eat. You need to be back in the bus at this time." So you didn't have to think; you could just drink, which is the only way to do it.
That was nice. We did,
but they booked all the tours for us, so we didn't really have a ton of say. I mean, I think Roberto kind of said the ones he for sure wanted to hit. But Sazerac, the tour we did at Sazerac was fine, but it's just, I mean, there's Disneyland lines to get in some of the stuff.
Yeah, the best way to describe it is it's been Disneyfied, where it's very curated
FlashPass.
And it's very, it's there's I mean, it wasn't bad because our tour guide was actually pretty knowledgeable and had like a lot of good information. But it's like we're gonna go through these things pretty fast, and like there's not a whole lot of time to like linger and like check out like shit in the Rick House and like, you know, stuff like that. It's like, okay, we're gonna kind of squeeze you through as much as possible and then go to the tasting and get through the tasting pretty quickly, you know. So like it's it was definitely cooler to go to some of the smaller places. Like we went to James Pepper, and that was actually one of the cooler tours because it's super small, but everything they're making is excellent, and like it's neat to see like the entire operation in like 10 minutes, and then just like enjoy drinking.
Yeah. No, that's cool.
And like we got to thieve there out of a barrel, which was pretty fun. And didn't we get liquor straight out of the still there?
No, they weren't still in that day.
I thought they were.
They gave us White Dog, but it wasn't straight from the still.
Okay, that's what it was. Yeah.
Nice. No, that's cool with the mom and pop ones. Like when we went to Cole, Denver. Laws?
Yeah, we went to Denver and went to Law's Whiskey House, yeah.
Oh,
that's
nice.
pretty cool. Small shop. Did they pay for like the VIP
White
tour,
Dog
which,
right from the barrel.
yeah, that's pretty cool. I always like maintain like if you can like just do the fucking VIP tours they offer, like at any, especially the local small distilleries, because like Maverick here gives you a Glencairn. You get to actually pull the nail from the barrel and let it pour right into the beaker. Like it's super cool. Get it all over your hands.
Yeah, that's pretty neat.
So you guys made it. So what's in? So Sazerac, what's in New Orleans and what's over there in Kentucky? It's
Buffalo Trace in Kentucky.
Okay, and it's just Sazerac, house that's in New Orleans?
Yeah, so I believe that they actually distill Sazerac in New Orleans.
Okay.
And everything else, I think, is in Kentucky.
Okay, cool. Because that's only like, a 6-hour... That's something that's been on the possible to-do list here. Maybe
for you, it's like an hour and a half, 2 hours.
To New Orleans? You're a little off there with our history there, buddy. It's like...
That'd be geography, not history.
Exactly what the Bears fan said.
Well, no, if you
I'm
were
a Packer fan. Don't put me in that boat. I'm a
my
Packer
bad.
fan.
Sorry. Okay, well, there goes my whole Justin Field question.
That's for Jake.
We can talk about your other quarterback who may or may not be there. But anyway.
Dude, man, the ayahuasca will tell him what to do.
Oh, I want to do me some ayahuasca. Anyway, that's a whole other podcast.
Hey, you're right.
Yeah, Cole, maybe we can coordinate that. We may not be able to go to, Amsterdam, but...
Dude, I mean, you can drive there. I'm going to fucking fly there, but okay.
Oh, there you go. Well, if you can get the VIP pass, and if you can get the first...
Dude, I have like $150,000, $200,000 Southwest points,
travel so much.
Do this work, all right? You're sipping on that fucking piss yellow haterade over there.
It's the orange one. Thank you. No, that's cool. I was hoping you had gone to Makers, because Makers, if you had heard the RIP for Trammagol, you definitely know that Makers was the go-to in the that's the one distillery that I would like to get to and see if it is worth squeezing in, because I'm sure there's just so many. You've got to put a game plan together.
So are you a Maker's Mark ambassador, though?
I would get a tattoo of Maker's Mark if I wasn't such a vag.
So I'm an ambassador, so I can go get I can go get an ambassador's tour. Go on to Maker's Mark. Just Google Maker's Mark ambassador. You can sign up for free. You get a yearly Christmas gift. They put your name on a barrel. You can go down and see your barrel for a special tour or something. Like it's
just went above Cole on the best friends list just for giving me that information. That is.
It's not like it was that hard to pass them up.
Oh.
Well, after like 7 years, you get to buy directly from your barrel, so you can get single barrel direct from them.
I'm doing that. I'm going to do that.
Yeah,
that's good.
It's free, so why not?
Why not? There you go. That's why I love Maker's Mark even more.
So, question for you guys: going through the tours that you've gone through, obviously the local smaller distilleries you've been to, going to Kentucky, where are you shelling out 10, 12, 15 grand to buy a barrel from? Like, what's your pick?
Ooh,
I'm sorry, did you say 10 to 12 grand?
That's what a barrel's going to cost you, 12 grand
Yeah.
if you're going to do a barrel pick.
Well, I just was just making sure that he was just, okay, VIP tickets, 10 to 12 grand.
I didn't say I was. But sorry about starting a Patreon for something.
That's a good question.
So we haven't been there. Distillery I like their product from that has a pretty easy to do barrel pick program is Old Elk. And we did a bunch. We ran through a bunch of old. We did a couple episodes. Like we did 8 or 10 different Old Elk variations to pick our favorite. They like you can go on and just go to their website and pick sign up for a barrel pick. That'd be a cool one. You got Greg Metz running everything there for the mash or for the alcohol, so you know it's gonna be good shit. So I would say Old Elk.
I mean, if I had to pick one in Kentucky, I'd pick Heaven Hill.
Okay.
But if I could pick anywhere, I'm gonna be that guy and say MGP because look at how much you have to choose from.
Just start
Ross
a
and
distillery,
Squibb.
man. There you go.
Ross and
yeah,
Squibb.
was it Ross and Squibb?
MGP was way cooler name. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What about you guys? Cole, I guess the question, Cole, where did you buy your barrel from?
I didn't buy a barrel. Actually, I do have a whiskey barrel that I paid $35 for from Garrison Brothers, but it was empty. But I was able to pour it on its side, and you actually get probably a couple quarts of basically cowboy bourbon out of it. That was cool.
Oh, nice.
I would do that probably 15 times before I buy a barrel.
Or just go to Whiskey Cake, whatever. That too. Ross and Squibb, that's like I don't know if that may be worse than the Indians going to the Guardians. No. Maybe. That's pretty similar.
Was MGP racist?
I think they were forced to there's not even a vote that I want to go to with that. I'll say no because they make everybody happy. Yeah, we'll stick to that.
Do they now?
They make everybody happy but bourbon snobs. They make not happy.
Then I think the person's not a bourbon fan if they don't like MGP or Ross's.
There's some good MGP stuff out there.
Oh,
Yeah,
a lot
really
of
good
it.
MGP.
You know.
You're a liar. You're a liar if you say MGP doesn't make good stuff.
Yeah.
Remus
I also don't
is
want to.
MGP, right?
Yeah. I also
Remus,
don't want
but it's Remus repeal is awesome.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I also don't want to talk to anybody that calls it Ross and Squibb. So
Yeah.
I don't want to talk to anybody that calls the Indians the Guardians. So.
Well, we might as well talk about the whiskey that we're drinking.
yeah.
Dan, you want to start?
Yeah, so because they're suffering from cold weather down in Texas, I drink Texas whiskey to make them feel better. Going with Garrison Brothers Balmoria or Balmoria. I don't know how they pronounce it. It's weird.
Balmoria.
Balmoria.
It's a double barreled. It's double barreled. I was reading on it, so they don't put an age statement on here on the bottle, but it was 2 years in a Minnesota oak cask, and then 2 years in a Kelvin Cooperage cask.
Minnesota.
So it'd be 4 years that way. It's 115 proof. It is like coffee colored dark brown. It is a very very dark colored bourbon. It's I'll say two things about it. One, I really really love this bourbon. Two, I don't think it's worth $170.
It's not.
Is it close?
It's.
I'm starting to change. Like now that I've been working at a distillery, you kind of taste a lot more stuff. I mean, we have a day where everyone brings in a bottle, we get to taste it, and there's so much good stuff from $40 to $70 now.
Oh yeah.
That even though this is good, and you're going to get heavy oak on it, like almost like a nut, like a chestnut, or it's got a nuttier smell to it. Same on the palate. It's really good, but yeah. You know what? I smell
I'm
nuts,
with you,
guys.
Dan.
I smell nuts.
I'll keep it serious, Dan. I'm with you.
No. We can all giggle. I do the same thing.
No.
I just
Remember, we
listening to
have a dad
Dan talk
podcast
about
now.
nuts and Cole's like losing it.
I know. Cole's,
I like nuts and nuts flavored
no,
whiskey.
I just remember because I bought it what must have been 2018, 2017. But I just got like heavy. That was the original like candy syrup coal.
Yeah.
That we started comparing, like it's like a candy syrup heavy heat to it. And that 170 was high, but it was one of those that I was like, 140, 150. I was digging it, but you know.
I would say if this was around 125, I'd say it'd be a hell of a value for a great bourbon. At 170, I think now it's even gone up to.
It's like 190. It's like 190. Yeah.
Thanks, Obama. It's around 190. Definitely not worth it at 190.
I really want to know like the string that led from that comment to things.
So it's inflation. Well, it's always Obama's fault, right? It's inflation, and we're going to blame Biden, I guess, for inflation. And because of Obama, we have Biden. So
yeah, there you go. And then
that's the string I got to.
There's the thought process.
Got it. Okay, it's okay.
Yeah. But no, I like it. I recommend drinking it if you're looking for a bourbon and you see it at 170. If you have the cash and really want to spend it, get it because it's good. But I don't think it's. I mean, there's so much other stuff that I could get for half the price that I think would taste just as good.
So
it's not that it's a bad bourbon by any means. It's a great bourbon.
No. Perfect scenario for that one right there is you and the buddies are going out and you split it. That's the perfect scenario for that one.
Or even whiskey
finish. It's delicious. But yeah,
I don't want to take anything away. I think the flavor of it's great. The only knock on it I have is the price is way too high. But especially for a 4-year-old.
Right. Yeah.
But you are putting it in two barrels, and barrels are crazy. Cole, it's okay. I see it.
Act like you've done a whiskey podcast before, Cole.
Jesus.
I didn't say anything. You made the assumption.
Jesus. No, for a younger aged bourbon, it's very expensive. But at the same point, it's Texas. You get that crazy Texas heat. You get a lot of expansion and contraction of that barrel to get it in and out of the oak. And putting it in a second oak barrel, it makes sense. But that's where the crazy dark color comes from. But I think it's this bourbon's for a special person, and it's someone that makes a decent amount of cash if they want to have it on their shelf. But otherwise, Stephen, like you said, if you're going out on a trip with a couple guys, splitting it and having it, great whiskey for that.
Yeah.
All right, who's next?
I'll go.
Hear about that Benchmark.
There you go.
All right, so I'm drinking Benchmark Extra Strong, foolproof. So this is, my understanding is a Buffalo Trace because McAfee Brothers is a Buffalo Trace bottle, right? I'm not sure what the mash bill is on it, so you guys may have to tell me which family it comes from. But for 125 proof at like $16, $18 for 750 milliliter, I took this to my whiskey club last week, and we had like Stag, so at 18 Stag, or whatever barrel proof Stag, Handy. We had like Four Roses and a few other ones, but we're doing like the sub $20 bottles. I've usually had really bad experiences with high proof sub $20 bottles. And to be honest with you, I've had the Benchmark 8 regular. It's fine. You know, you could pour it in a Coke, Dr. Pepper, whatever. You can drink it straight if you really want to. And then I've also had the Benchmark single barrel, which I didn't care for. This, though, like, I don't know if it's the proof profile. It's just right up my alley because I tend to like 110 plus proof stuff. I really like it. And if you're talking about like $18 for something that high proof, even if you put it in Coke or you drink it straight, like, talk about bang for your buck. Like, that's like right up my alley. So, you know, the smell it's not overly offensive, especially on the second dram. And the taste profile is rich. It's oaky. It's sweet. You know, it's got a little bit of like red candy going on as far as like red hots in the back of your mouth, but it doesn't like kill you. So I'm not mad at it ever. So yeah, that's my take.
It's I believe it's mash bill 1, which would be their low rye mash bill at Buffalo. And when we were in warehouse E, was it, Jake? Which is a 7-story warehouse, and they just said the main difference was their cheaper stuff, aka probably Benchmark and H&H, they put on the top stories because bigger temperature variations up top.
That makes sense.
Age faster. But then what's weird is the master distiller at Whiskey Acres was talking. He's a big fan. He searched out Weller CYPB this year and finally found it.
Nice.
And apparently a lot of the CYPBs the last couple of years have also been from the top floors of Warehouse E.
Huh. I mean, I would recommend it. Like, if you guys are just looking for a little bit of variation, something different, like, find the foolproof. I mean, they have like top floor, which makes sense what you're talking about. They have like single barrel, they have small batch, they have benchmark 8, and they have foolproof. I just have this feeling that, I know it got a lot of hype when it first came out, but I feel like it's going to be that thing that you just can't find all the time. Like, as Old Granddad 114, you don't see very often, at least here in Texas. Like, people are going to be looking for that high proof, low cost bottle, and I feel like this is going to fill a gap.
Thanks.
Me?
Steven?
You want me to go?
Yeah, go ahead.
Sure. I have Fit Vine Cabernet Sauvignon. I'm just kidding. I didn't bring that to the show.
Say your low carb wine, you jag off.
Hey, when I run that half marathon and they're sponsored on my back, we'll see. Maybe I can afford Cole's VIP trips. So you know the scene from Yes Man where he continuously like walks by the guy that's trying to offer him like to go into the concert, and he finally accepts it and he gets all happy?
Yeah.
Very similar situation to me at Specs the other day. I continuously see the same guy. I always ignore him because I just know so much more than him. And he's always offering decent products. Sometimes very shitty. But this last time, walked in, was actually going to go... Cole was about to tell me to stop hitting my desk because I was about to do that. I was going to walk in and just get some TX because that's kind of become a go-to since it was on Yellowstone and I wanted good vibes for the first podcast show.
You just picked up Weller 12. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Weller's, right? And he was like, hey, you know what's a good one? I was like, which one? What's it going to be today?
Devil's River.
And he actually walked me over to Redwood Empire, Lost Monarch, $36 bottle, not bad. I've done a little reading. It's Sonoma County, California, but I think it sources its whiskey from this place called, what was it called? Rag and Tag now?
Ross and Squid.
Oh, yes. Happy Squid.
Squiddy, got it.
Retired along with the Fortran and Gold podcast, MGP. So, yeah, it's 45%, 90 proof. It's not bad. I polished it off tonight. I really, aged at least 3 years, of course. It was pretty solid, actually. And I think, Cole, had you had this one before?
Yeah, I've had that one. I want to get the fucking cast strength, the black label ones, but yes, I have.
I heard the cast strength are really good.
Really?
Anything cast strength is good.
Typically, yeah.
But yeah, for $36, this was not bad.
Would you buy it again?
I enjoyed it. I would. I actually would. And maybe I'll start taking his suggestions seriously now.
I don't know about that. So would you buy that or like an FAE or something like that in Makers for about the same price?
Oh, man, I love Makers. It depends on the situation. So this is one of those, like, okay, so good question. Went to the wife's work party the other day and needed to impress, but I didn't want to be a snob. So what's that bottle that you take for a $30 elephant gift? I don't even remember what I took. What did I take? Damn it.
Sazerac's always a good bottle.
You may call me a sellout. I took Bullet.
But you took the barrel strength, didn't you?
No, I kept that one.
Oh, okay.
I took the Bullet.
Didn't want to impress that much.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I didn't want to,
That's a crowd pleaser, though.
Right. This is one that I think that you can take, and people will be like, oh, that's fancy. Mm-hmm. He knows what he's talking about, when I really don't. But yeah, that's over a Maker's Mark product.
Not any Maker's Mark, like an FA, like a once a year. I call them the FAs. Like
price
that series.
difference, though.
It's not really. They're like $40, maybe $45.
Or was that $30? I'm sorry, I lost track.
He said 36.
It was like $36.
$40.
For myself, I'm going to go Makers. For sharing with the crew, I'll buy Redwood and buy it again. It wasn't bad.
Fair enough. I want to hear about Jake's because I love this bottle.
Yeah, so I'm drinking the Still Austin cast strength.
Fuck yeah.
It's got a pretty nice color on it. On
that's
the nose,
that's a cool
it's pretty,
distillery
like,
tour.
yeah, I want to get out there. The bottle's nice and pretty, too.
Yeah.
So the funny, one thing with Still Austin,
bird.
too, before Jake gets too deep, a year ago, they weren't even selling in Illinois. And about 8
really?
months
Right.
ago, we started getting it in Illinois.
It's because Matthew McConaughey probably
I
has
ordered
hands on
this
it.
online, so I cheated. But
Nice. So the first, not to steal your thunder, but like when they first came out with that bottle, I like entered one of their like special raffles or whatever to get an allocation for it, and I got it, and I got to go up there but it released on Mother's Day weekend, so I had to take my wife up there. Like, hey babe, we're gonna go do this cool distillery thing, and like they have live music and stuff, and yeah, so to go up there and get my bottle is pretty badass though. And now, what is it, like $45 where you are?
I can't remember. I bought it a while ago. This is actually the first time I opened it.
Oh shit! All right,
But
I want to hear all about it.
I'm really enjoying it.
I was going to say,
like-
you got to give us your thoughts.
Yeah,
The nose is
114
pretty like desserty. Like I'm getting a lot of like lots of like vanilla and like caramel and like that kind of stuff.
Did you say it's like a Mexican vanilla?
Roberto's not here, so we can't say that.
No. Steven, like a few weeks ago, he sent me a meme, and it was like when people ask me am I race, and it's like Mexican vanilla ice cream. Like,
That's exactly what I am.
But yeah, the nose is pretty nice. And the palate's pretty excellent too. It's got a nice, pretty fairly long finish. I think it's 118 proof. Yeah, which is a nice proof point. It drinks like it's much less. Like
it's a dangerous
Does
one.
it make you want to grow your hair out and start walking around barefoot or anything? Since it's from Austin?
I don't think you want to walk around barefoot. in
there's
South
nothing
Austin.
that would make me do that.
Except Hiawatha, maybe.
Yeah. But me and Aaron Rodgers go to Mexico to do ayahuasca.
Oh, that'd be a dream.
He does it in Peru, I believe, actually. So,
okay.
but you can't. You can't get to Peru right now. No, is it Peru or Chile? I think Peru has got the big civil unrest where you can't even go to the Inca Trail or Machu Picchu anymore.
Yeah, I don't think it's Chile. I think it's Peru. Sounds right.
Sounds like you need to be on Two Dads No Clue.
There you go. Give us a rundown.
because my history's so good.
Well, I mean, tell us about all the countries you can't visit.
Yeah, current geopolitical unrest.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan of this bottle. I'm glad I got it.
It's one of my
heard
favorites.
good things about Still Austin, and now I can confirm it. So
Yeah. There's another good whiskey. Well, there's a few good whiskeys out of Austin, but one of the other ones, which I'm kind of partial to, it's called Armadillo. I'm partial to it because my bar is called the Armadillo. But they have a weeded, and they have they have normal bourbon, they have a weeded, and then they have a barrel-proof bourbon or a cask strength bourbon, and they're both pretty good. It's a cask strength weeded though, so it's a little bit different. But if you ever see it, it's worth a pickup. It's only like $28-$35 somewhere in there.
And they released a rye also, correct?
I can neither confirm nor deny that, but I don't know.
Good input.
It's what I do, man. It's what I do.
all right. Well, I think we should wrap up. Do you guys want to give your promo one more time?
Yeah, for sure. So if you're looking for a podcast that represents you, you're not a whiskey expert, you like drinking whiskey, tequila, coffee, water, I don't know, something like that. A liquid of
Athletic
some,
wine.
there you go, or
wine.
lemon lime Gatorade.
Joe Rogan sponsored energy drinks, Jake Paul hydration water, anything that gets your ticker going.
Yeah, so we're Steven and I. We are Two Dads No Clue. We're a podcast about drinking, thinking, fatherhood. Give you perspective on various historical events, as well as just how does that apply to our our everyday days as being dads, and just kind of make it a relatable conversation. So Steven's starting to put some content out about Sunday coffee time or Saturday drink day. Something like that.
Yeah, that's another thing that my wife said. Stop sounding like an asshole too. So, listen to episode 2, the new and improved.
Yeah, but you can catch us on Instagram at it's at number 2 Dads No Clue, all one word. So, give us a follow. Super excited to be part of this crossover episode. Look forward to many more.
When's your release date?
Yes, we'll probably be dropping sometime this week. So let's just say 2, 3, 2, 4
nice.
as our first episode, and then we're looking to do at least a monthly release. But as cool topics pop up, or Steven gets the itch to talk about the annexation of Puerto Rico or something like that, we'll figure it out.
Or how they're not allowing people in Chile.
There you go.
Whatever we gotta do. And once we get our routine down, we'll have the Bourbon Matters crew on there.
There you go. Exactly.
Nice.
Good question. Chili with beans or without beans?
Ooh.
Depends on the mood.
Yeah. I actually prefer without.
On the mood.
Okay,
if I'm going to make
Skyline chili kind of situation?
No, fuck Skyline Chili.
Yeah, no. Oh, my God.
No friends, no listeners in Ohio either, huh?
No. We don't want them.
Yeah.
We'll
Trust
take
me.
you. We'll take
the
you.
the last 5 years, I've spent over 40 weeks in Ohio. I could go without Ohio listeners.
Hey, to be clear, two dads no clue. We'll take your Ohio listeners. So it's fine.
I'll eat Skyline chili right on the show if you want me to.
That's like only Cincinnati though. Like no one else in Ohio serves it besides just Cincinnati. So,
But
it's a very small demo.
I mean, isn't Cincinnati all of Ohio? Like, does
No.
anybody live anywhere else?
Cleveland.
Cleveland, where
But
the
what's the best
Guardians
thing-
play. Hello.
What's the best thing about Cincinnati?
The best
It's
thing
not
about
Cleveland.
Cincinnati.
Joe
Yeah, that's
Burrow?
fair. I will say the food in Cleveland is excellent, but
All right, so
I
Dan,
got a quick story about Skyline Chili. Okay. So, I think in between junior and senior year of college, me and my buddy went on a road trip and went to a bunch of baseball games down south. And coming
just call
back
Ohio
up,
South.
no, we went all the way down. Like we went to St. Louis and
that's so far south. That's so
well,
far
no.
south.
I thought we were
went to
getting to
Kansas City, St. Louis, Dallas.
So you went still north of the Mason-Dixon line.
No, we went to New Orleans.
Okay, all right, okay.
Okay.
Memphis, Nashville, and then coming up, we saw baseball games at all the places that have baseball teams. And then coming back up, we went to Cincinnati to see the Cubs-Reds, which was an awesome game because Anthony Rizzo hit an in-the-park home run. It was awesome to be like the only Cubs fan there and be like,
Oh, jeez.
yelling. But so we're there, and my friend's roommate was from Cincinnati, and he was like, "You have to get Skyline dogs." So we're like, "Okay." I mean, I each took a bite, and we were like, "This is absolute horseshit." Like,
Yeah.
I can't
He
believe
may-
anyone thinks this is good.
He may as well have called you and said, "You have to shit your pants today.
Yeah.
Like, it's gonna happen."
I was like, "This, like, we're from Chicago, so like, we have real hot dogs.
We've had this talk.
like,
yeah.
This is not a hot dog."
That's funny. So you're a no beans guy. Dan, did you say no beans or with beans?
Like most times, if I'm making chili, it kind of depends on what type of chili I'm going for. It's half and half, I'd say. Especially, it's definitely no beans if you're going for a chili dog. If you're going chili dog,
Yeah.
you can't have beans in it.
Give me a
Potato
non-committal
pie?
answer, but okay.
Well, so like if I do venison chili, I'm going to have beans in it. A lot of meat chilies, I don't, unless it's got some other crazy additive I'm going for. Like sometimes, don't yell at me. Sometimes I do the pasta chili.
Just
I
send you
won't
to
yell at
Skyline
you
Chili.
for
Got
that.
it. Okay.
I mean, like I said, we put chili on our Fritos here in this state. So,
Yeah, but if you're making like a bowl of chili on a cold day, and that's what you're eating, not with Fritos, like on a bed of rice or something classic. With
you
or
just
without.
said bowl of chili, and then you said on a bed of rice.
Well, I mean,
Well,
that's,
so
a,
yes.
that's a Louisiana way to do it, but all right.
Last year, we did a chili cook-off, one day when we were recording, because I think we were recording like 3 episodes in one sitting.
Nice.
Sure, the third one was great.
Yeah. all 3 of us made a different type of chili. And Dan made a bourbon maple chili that was absolutely fantastic.
Bacon bits in there?
That one had some beans in it.
All right.
That one did have beans in it, yeah.
I'm a beans chili guy. To only give the only committal answer here.
You know what? Sometimes
Kidney
it's best
beans.
to live in the gray. Why do you got to be so black and white, Cole?
50 Shades of Grey, Dan. 50 Shades of Grey, Dan. All right. Sorry, Jake. Didn't mean to steal that from you.
That's all right. Am I stuck doing the promo for us?
Well, I can say that our website will start to get updated in a couple of weeks. I'll get that back up and going.
Nice.
I know everyone's waiting on the edge of their seat for that to happen, but I'll take care of that. I'll take Roberto's job. Instagram at Bourbon Matters, Facebook at Bourbon Matters, and those are our socials. We're closing in on 1,000, aren't we? Followers on Insta.
Yes,
Just
we
over
are.
a year, and we're getting over 1,000.
Yeah, I think at last I saw we were at we're 4 away from 950. So yeah, we're getting there.
Yeah, we're closing in on it. We'll be doing some more stuff there, but that's us. Jake, where can people listen to us at?
If any of those lazy people on Instagram wanted to listen to the show, they could find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Amazon, Audible, basically anywhere you want to listen to podcasts. And you can watch the podcast on YouTube. Just search for Bourbon Matters.
Awesome.
Sweet.
Two Dads No Clue, a.k.a. the artist formerly known as Fourth Dram and Gold. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Hey, happy to be here, man. Thank you.
No problem. Always a good time.
Good seeing you guys.
No show.
Uh-huh.
Give a half-assed cheers here.
There you go.